Welcome back, everyone, to Clair Obscur Expedition 33. And last time, we got quite a bit done plot-wise. We took care of the two axons, got what we needed to bust the barrier. The way to the Paintress and the Monolith that she carves upon is clear. This is an interesting thing to have in Act 2, with so many locations unexplored. Obviously, this means we're going to finish the game tonight. This is very definitely not going to be a 3-act game. Off camera, I did a little more hunting around for chromatics. Not a lot of grinding. There aren't a lot of places to grind at the moment, given our levels. Still a few red areas I wasn't feeling confident in. But most of the map that we have access to is clear. The last thing I did was go into this location, the Stonewave Cliffs Cave, not to be confused with the Stonewave Cliffs. This I went into much earlier and then backed out, but apparently the only thing down there was like a chromatic hexagon boss. Surprisingly tricky, actually, even having a good level advantage. Some of the fights actually do get pretty clever with the way they expand on creature movesets and tricks. Yeah, exactly. I get it. Definitely nothing to do after defeating the Paintress. So yeah, to borrow a phrase from Warlockracy, it's time for some real theory hours. Because this is definitely a game that encourages you to speculate and make you wonder about the true nature of the world. Now, most of my guesses have been pretty off base, but I've still got a few in play that I want to outline for posterity. Am I going the right way? Yes. So yeah. Theory 1, the world is some kind of abstraction or artificial construct. This seems pretty likely. The constant art motif and use of art for both creation and destruction, the lack of knowledge of any place in the world outside Lumiere and the continent, it makes it pretty clear that reality is not what we think it is. What it might be is kind of hard to pin down, however. One key detail is that the shadow people we've been finding, the faceless people, they talk about the Paintress like she was there before the world shattered. She somehow inhabited the world she created and is now systematically destroying, and thus acts as some kind of bridge between this world and whatever reality is. Which leads to Theory 2. Someone is getting something out of the Gommage. This is all a very elaborate, methodical process of extinction, like it was tailored specifically to give people time to face it. Either the Paintress can't simply wipe out humanity all at once, or she doesn't want to, or someone controlling her doesn't want to. I'm leaning towards the latter. It's always worth asking who gains, and someone benefits from drawing this out. Which leads to Theory 2A. The Paintress is being ordered to destroy her work, and is deliberately slow-walking it. She created the world, she might have fallen in love with it or something, and now someone or something is forcing her to eliminate it. Thus, she's arranging things just so that her creation has a fighting chance, and the Gommage is what this process looks like from the inside. My only real clue for this is Sophie speculating in the intro that the Paintress might also be trapped in a cycle, a tool of some higher power. This is not a game that uses detail carelessly. That line may well be significant. And then finally, Theory 3, Verso is not who he says he is. He's clearly connected to the mansion, Renoir, and the white-haired woman, apparently his sister. However, it's revealing what the group doesn't talk about. What the Paintress' heart was, why it was in the mansion, what the mansion is supposed to be. That all definitely ties into the first theory of what the world is supposed to be. But as for Verso, we got two big clues last time. The scar that Verso and Renoir share, and Verso speaking of himself in the third person during the Visage encounter. The obvious implication is that Verso is Renoir, doing some timey-wimey stuff to somehow thwart his future self, but it's also possible that Verso is an older Gustave using that as an identity. I don't feel confident about either of these two guesses. I'm just putting them on the board. But I will say that Verso is putting on an act of some kind. The man is genuinely opposing Renoir, but he's also masking who he really is, probably because of what's really happening. And that leads to my final theory, 3A. Gustave is coming back. This is an RPG. We did not bury a body. You all know how this works. Trust and believe. Alright. With that all down, let's go cook this turkey. Right, so Resquier. We'll start with the feet and work our way up. Again, begs the question of how we're supposed to possibly fight something that big. But the Axons, I think, provided a template. We're probably going to engage in some kind of ground-level representation when we get close enough. Is this even going to be a dungeon, or what? Yeah, Verso is very old. SGA remembers him from a long time ago, as does Monoco. Yeah, there's definitely a sense that we are going through some kind of cycle. He has some insight into what's really going on with the world that we're probably going to get forcibly dumped on us. Also, howdy, Ira. Good to have you here. Just in time for the climactic showdown of Act 2. Very definitely not followed by Act 3. Actually, hang on a second. I'm gonna tag Monoco out. You know what? I'll tag CL out for Luna. Just in case we get a foot out of this, and I imagine it's gonna be a big one. Anyway, good to have y'all here, and hope you're having a good week out there. Or weekend. I have indeed. Not an exhaustive effort, but most of the critters we've gotten so far. Most of the critters we've encountered so far, we've gotten feet from.
We can do this. For Gustav. For all of them.
Alright, here we go. Hey! The first expedition banner. So they got pretty far in. Might as well rest up. I did spend points about as much as I could. I don't think anybody had anything left. No, we are good. Of course they drag her back so we have enemies to fight along the way. Yeah, I feel like in that cutscene, Verso is a stand-in for people that have played this game before and know what's coming. And it's just, has kind of a weary resignation of, man, where do I even start telling them what's really going on, what waits for them. Note the candles around here. I think at the Stone Wave Cliffs there was that shrine to her as well, so there were probably people that genuinely worshipped her when she appeared. Possibly prior to whenever, okay, looks like we're not going to have monsters along the way, we're just going to run right up to her. Yeah, I feel like there's an interesting relationship with... Just going to check over here to make absolutely sure we can't explore a bit. There may be side loot we can get. But it doesn't look like it. Yeah, no, if there were people that remember her before all this fell apart, then it presents an interesting look into what was life before the continent shattered. What was life like before the Gommage? How did people view her? What was she doing? Was she like a normal, like human-sized person? Or did she appear like this one day and everybody built life around her? Anyway. Alright, here we go.
Let's spill some ink.
So, yeah, what are we even targeting here? Well, no matter how big she is...
Flames. Rain.
Okay, I was about to say everything burns, but apparently she does not. That's concerning. Alright, is there something we have to shoot on her first? I don't see any obvious targets. Feet, obviously. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, shit. Do we need, no. I was gonna say, do we need Maelle to swing with her barrier breaker weapon? But no, she did that to dispel the barrier so we could even get here. This is almost certainly gonna be some kind of plot thing. You know what? If there's no getting through the barrier, we might as well build up AP. You're targeting the feet. Monoco approves, yeah. Yeah, we'll basically just build up AP and hope that we'll get a fair fight against this. Is it even worth... Nah, it won't build up stains, I don't think. Nah. Feet-to-feet combat. You got this, Luna. Alright. Yes, battle's only to make you stare at feet. Alright, go ahead and put Shell up.
Shields up.
I gave Maelle a Lumina that also applies powerful with Shell. Feels like stacking all these Shell effects on her is a good way to build her character. Anything worth doing here? Doesn't look like it.
So much potential.
Yeah, that figures.
Our attacks do nothing.
I don't understand. The gradient attack should work.
Ah, so we just gotta build our meters up. Well, there you go.
Wait, Maelle.
I don't think this is...
Oh, she's having her shit gets real low vision.
No. No, 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 no.
Damn it. The enemy figured out that burn is effective. Come on, Verso, get some tinctures out. You know what you gotta do. Lower HP to 1, buff self, stend off for max damage. Yeah, I know there were some skills that... I think Verso got a skill that lowers him to 1 hit point. So there are ways to make that happen.
Everybody okay?
Follow her. Quickly.
What?
This might be our only chance.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright. Maybe that'll be the actual Paintress body that we... Actually, maybe that's the heart of the Paintress that we were gunning for earlier. Yeah, follow those feet. Monoco needs to add to the collection. Alright, cool.
We are inside The monolith? What was that thing? Why did it help us inside?
I don't know if I would assume it's
Are
being
you
helpful.
alright, Maelle? Up there. She's... the Paintress.
Hey, the Eiffel Tower.
She's up there.
What do you mean?
I don't know, but I can sense the real Paintress. Her heart is above
Aha.
us somewhere.
I guess we head up then.
Alright. Well, up we go. So there's something about the recurring fire that keeps happening in these flashback sequences. Like, sometimes we've seen the manor. It's always been on... It's been on fire. And the woman in white, Verso's sister, wears a mask to cover her burn scars or something. So I'm thinking whatever really happened, whatever it was that involved the manor, at some point it caught fire. And that was a traumatic event that affected Verso's sister, and possibly Maelle, however she's connected to this as well. I don't have a good sense of what really happened there, but that is almost certainly connected to this. Dungeon's fairly long, but if you want to ignore these mobs, you can. I do think there's a mime here. Yeah, I'm gonna poke at a few of these guys and get some practice in. Alright. Go ahead and shoot these guys. I get the feeling we are going to revisit the creatures we fought in most of the plot dungeons. This looks like it's a dark 3 minutes. Nah, you know what? Damn, get some cheaper skills on you, buddy. Because yeah, we're fighting some of the first enemies in the game, which makes me think we're going to revisit some of the places we've seen in, like, snapshots. Like, we're basically going to get a mix and match group of enemies here.
That's more like it.
Damn. Alright, good news is we're doing a fair bit of damage, so we are leveled well enough to handle this. Hey!
Interesting.
We never did went back for those. Nice. We got you covered, bro. God is my witness, we will get you every foot we can going forward. Ah. Yeah, see, she appears to be burning up there. And she's painting something.
Verso, what was that?
I don't know.
Fire. Again.
Uh-huh. Let's see. Which way leads to progression? Which way leads to extra loot? I see a flag over there. Ah, 70 got this far. Actually, if the previous pattern holds, then more well-lit areas are lead to the way up. So let's explore over here first. Oh, come on, man. The hitbox on the
Oh, really?
overworld attack is just weird. Nice. Good counter.
I'm ready.
Alright. Actually, hang on a second. Poke that filler. Very good. Poke that filler. And poke that filler. Outstanding. You burning? Nice.
Careful, Maelle.
Ah. Actually, Hell yeah. Alright.
Ready to go.
Down. Beautiful. Hey, yeah, this will actually be a great chance to get more feet for Monoco. See? It's all coming together. The area by a flag was actually a farming spot. One thing I will say is if you want feet, this place does have some bosses that showed up before you got Monoco, which will give you feet. Ah, alright. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like we're basically going to get a greatest hits version of all the enemies we've fought so far, so not a bad idea to have him in the party to capitalize on this. You know, that's actually it's actually using fight music from previous encounters as well. Alright. Let's deal with these flyers. Is that a flyer? Yeah, it is. Alright. Just being a burly fella. Should burn to death.
Your turn to shine.
Haha.
I am refreshed.
Nice. Good job, Maelle. Yeah, this will be a good warm-up for counters. Well, refresher, I suppose. Hey. Yoink.
Nice.
Outstanding. Alright, so that is this hook shot over there. Oh, okay, so it kind of forms a loop. That's nice. Come here, you.
I'm ready.
Alright. You, and you. Did you set anything on fire? Beautiful.
From fire.
You know what? We're by the rest spot anyway. Why not? Go ahead and do this. Oh, wait. Hang on a second. He's not really... Yeah, screw it. Why not?
Energized.
A storm is coming.
Damn.
I'm gassed.
Alright. Nothing to it. Alright, so flag's back there. Which way forward? Which way is forward? Yeah, I'll go ahead and drug up, why not? Looks like that does. Back across the bridge. There's exploring to do. Hey, I see a big fella over there. If history is any guide, this thing will annihilate me. But we gotta try. Alright. We do need to get more catalysts. Spent a fair bit of those last time. Alright. You there, big fella. How's about you square up? Let's go a couple rounds. Let's see exactly how painful you are.
I'll do it.
Okay, oh boy. Wow, only one attack on that? An odd bit of mercy. Actually, wait. Maelle, bust this thing open. Alright, so we did a good amount of damage there. Maybe this will be a fair fight. Or maybe it's just lulling me into a false sense of security. Maybe not. Holy shit. Okay. Now I think it's gonna get,
Chroma is flowing.
Now here's where the pain begins. Alright. Let's at least find out what it's weak to. Nice. Alright. Ah, shit. Here we go. That's not too bad.
Your turn to dance.
Less of a boss and more of a regular mob at this point. Alright. Yeah, I suppose in every RPG you've got that one area that features, like, mook versions of enemies you've dealt with before. Is it on fire? It is.
A bit of violence, yes.
Alright. Ah, we're all out of AP. I'll give him a bonk.
Let's push forward.
Alright, go ahead and heal yourself. Actually, I probably should have healed.
Careful, Maelle.
There we go.
Brace yourself.
Motherfucker.
On guard.
Back on my regular setup of 2 monitors. This time the DP is a smaller monitor with a new wire I found, while the main 32 sits on an HDMI. 3 days, no crashes. Nice, nice. Yeah. Whatever the problem was, it sounded weird and specific enough that it was hard to troubleshoot. Like just...
Careful. He's building up chroma.
Uh-oh. Like just Googling the issue probably wouldn't get you very far.
Okay.
Still, glad it's working now. Uh-oh, here we go. Damn it. Oh boy. Alright.
Okay.
We got his core back. You know what? Get Monoco back up.
Time for revenge.
Gradient is ready. Let's go ahead and do that. Actually, hold on a second. Doink the chest first. Maybe it's not shootable. Or whatever. But it is very punchable. Alright. Exactly. If it works, it works. That's the important thing. Alright, go team. Hell yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah, this is definitely a good time to get things you missed as Monoco. And see how far we've come as a team.
Yep.
In fact, I feel like that's going to be the motif here. Like, there is probably a... I hesitate to say that all this was preordained by someone, but there is probably a reason we encountered the threats and events we have in the order that we have. Alright. Doink. Doink. You look new. Oh, wait a minute. I remember that. There was that statue we saw back in the Spring Meadow or wherever. Like, very close to the start of the game. There was that statue was, like, split in half. There was, like, gooey organic crap sort of like, sticking between the two halves. Fancy meeting you here. Alright, that ought to die on the next turn. Dark is its weakness. Outstanding. Alright. Go ahead and heal Maelle.
Let's dance.
Bonk.
That's better.
Damn. Alright. Oh shit, there's more. Yeah. Sneaky bastard. It's Clair, so its weakness better be obscure. Oh! Alright. At long last, we meet part of the title. Let's see. Oh, right, she's silenced. Bugger. Alright. It's alright, you don't need to talk to hit stuff.
I'll do it.
Damn it. There we are. Still silenced, huh? How long does that last, anyway? You know what? Do we have anything that clears that? I think she has Cleansing Taint on. Let's try that. Or Cleansing Tint.
That's better.
There we go. Outstanding.
Sweet taste of battle.
Alright. You know what? Same deal for you.
Ready to
Nope, she
pound.
does not. Damn. Alright. Kindly start burning this thing.
Rain.
Violence.
Actually, is there a weak point on this? Might as well. Doesn't look to be. What about shooting the swords? Oh! Well, isn't that interesting? God only knows what that does. Maybe nothing. It might be cosmetic. Nice.
Yeah.
Kindly finish this thing off. Just do this.
Finesse and precision.
Beautiful. Hell yeah. Actually, with the flag up there, we'll go back up, rest. Alright. Actually, this begs the question, are we going to run into an obscure mob that responds to light damage?
Teaching her children to paint, huh?
This would definitely be that kind of game. Alright. So the Paintress is teaching her children. Over there is the white-haired lady that was Verso's sister. There's someone there we can't see. Looks like they're wearing a hat. And a younger girl in the middle. Maybe that's Maelle. Again, she's going to be connected to this somehow. Actually... never mind. I was just thinking of monkeying around with skills to better balance elemental affinity, but I feel like we're doing alright so far. Yep, here we go.
Spill some ink.
Now we're in the flying waters. Alright. me hit that thing on the side. Oh, there it is. Beautiful.
From fire.
Alright, I think this dude was weak to ice.
Feel the storm.
Eh, maybe not. Might have been lightning. Oh,
That's better.
oh yeah. Should probably switch people out and get some more levels spread around. In fact, yeah, let's, Luna, how about you take 5, and Verso, how about you hop on in? Monoco, we're gonna keep you in. I almost called him Monaco for a second there. DSD kicking in, having a little pup to wake up for the bathroom break, and having a flu situation to dealt with last night. Oh, jeez, yeah, you caught the bug going around too, huh? Go ahead and rest, man. Okay, remember what I told you? I want to be real quiet and listen to the music? This is the place. Yeah, I'll almost certainly be going mic off when the happening happens. But yeah, have a good night, Kren. Thanks for tuning in all the same. Alright, so nobody to talk to, it's been quite an adept conversationalist, blah blah blah, etc. Scavenging. Somehow a merchant ended up here. I gotcha. Alright, you know the routine. CL, how about you go in?
Try me.
Bugger. Alright. Alright. Well, so much for that. Alright. Sorry, CL, no dice on that one. Yeah, well, I've trained myself to listen for that noise before a strike comes in.
Shot? Doing in.
But what I'm finding when editing these videos is that seems pretty variable in terms of when the dodge or parry window is. Like, it announces a strike is incoming, but it's not always clear whether this means push the button now or you should have pushed the button like a fraction of a second beforehand. Skin of our teeth, but I'll take it. Good job, Seal. Hell yeah. Let us capitalism. Alright, energizing cleanse. Dispel the first negative status effect received and give 2 AP. That's actually a pretty good one. Alright, let's see. Damn. Alright, well, we're doing alright with the weapons we've got right now. Well, let's just go ahead and get these. The rest of it can wait. I assume we'll be able to come back here. Maybe, possibly. Alright, Verso. What do you got? Death Bomb. Protecting Death. Augmented Counter. Energizing Cleanse. Oh, look at that health. Hell yeah, slap that on, buddy. There we go. Alright, we continue. Yoink.
Nice.
Yeah, I think I see why the dungeon's going to be a long one. We're basically going to revisit the key elements of each area and fight a less beefy version of each boss. Mediocrity will be our strength. In a world of color, we will be beige. That's the Team 33 way.